want to say something I'm reminded of just from finishing that last recording just this moment. I want to see God in all loveliness. I want to say in all tenderness. A wonderful person. Utterly, utterly, unspeakably wonderful. Kindest and dearest, closest, most loving. Yeah. A dearest friend. Utterly close. You know when you're in love with someone, I hope you know. If not, I'll tell you. Well, perhaps you know anyway. They're just everything to you. All your joy. Just your love for them brings tears to your eyes. That's how I choose to be with my God. Because that's what I value most. And He is the personification of all that I truly value. And all that I should truly value if only I understood better. If only my consciousness were as sophisticated as His. My soul longs for you, wonderful one, lovely one, dearest one, love you. Thank you, dearest one. Thank you, Dad. So you see the Hawaiian people are right. To worship you, I live. To worship you, I live. I live to worship you. Life eternal. Continually return to your best thoughts of God. To your best thoughts that lead to life eternal. Bless you. And you are blessed. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, it's 3:15 now, and in the morning. And when I woke about, I don't know, say half an hour ago, might be less, I thought, I'll just think of God. Somehow I couldn't revise yesterday. Good things in it. I thought I'd just think of Scripture. I found I couldn't even hold that. So I thought, well, I'll listen to my recordings then. I'll revise the ones I wrote yesterday. Recorded yesterday. And of course I added bits as seemed appropriate. And I'm rescued, you see, back into good thoughts. I thought to record verbally myself reading what I think are the most helpful scriptures. And I have a mind to do that today, into the future, so that I can just play them at such times and they can occupy my mind. You might want to do something like that. Well, you can fall asleep listening to the way you should be going. And of course, the great thing about recordings when they're being played back, they just plough on. They don't let you preoccupy yourself with some other thoughts. They insist on just ploughing on regardless. Oh, it's not so creative as stopping the recording and recording something that's blessedly occurred to you, but it's a great way of putting you back on track. And when you find your mind is wandering, make sure it's wandering, or rather recognize when it's wandering onto something creatively godly, and stop the recording, the playback, and record what God's doing with you now. I've found this to be an incredible blessing. In my case, to listen to some recordings I've made, and then my mind finding itself preoccupied with what God has me recording in the now. Thank you, Heavenly Dad, and thank you that this is open to so many of us to do. Perhaps you're not good at recording, well, you will become good extremely quickly, but you can write instead of recording if you haven't got the facility for such. And then you can always read your own writings at times. And as you do, you'll be inspired because it's you talking to you now. And you'll want to add more writing. And it'll be a treasure for you to return to, that you may ever return to thinking good thoughts, ever moving closer to God, your God, the one you love. This is life eternal, to know thee, the only true God. Bless you. If you haven't got any of your own writings to follow at the minute, well, you can follow scripture, can't you? Preoccupy yourself with John 17, or the words in red in John, perhaps, being helpful. You'll soon find what feeds you best. Bless you, and you are blessed. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. I was slightly puzzled on rehearing this. What was the reference to the Hawaiian people? And it's because I've been reading a book, Self-Awareness Through, I think you pronounce it as Huna, H-U-N-A, by Erica Knorr. That's N-A-U. And, well, I came across this on page 33. I'll read it to you. It's only it's just a paragraph. I'm not sure as I've got the pronunciation right, but, bear with me. The Kahunas taught that mankind was given endless joy and some sorrow, that life was beautiful and living was a growing experience. They called the high self the utterly trustworthy, parental self, because it never interferes with the two lower selves, for this would rob them of their free will, which is their divine heritage and birthright. Composed of a male and female self, the high self is so perfectly matched and united, they are one. The Father, Mother, God, referred to in the prayers of the ancients. Did you notice the notion that a loving God doesn't constantly restrict you and constantly tell you what you're doing wrong and you must do so and so forth? Not that forceful parent at all. And of course, that God is both Father and Mother, has obviously the qualities of both to perfection. Your God, a lovely parent. Listen to this. This is on 2 pages further, on page 35. We attract what we think about daily. Wow, how true. We can all at any time change our future by changing our thinking. Think of joy and expectancy, and joy and expectancy will be attracted to you. This is the law. The kahunas understood it and practiced it daily. You may do as well if you study and apply yourself. How lovely. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, this is actually a bit of a repeat of a couple of a few recordings ago. Well, this last bit was anyway. Oh, and something else I'd like to put right too that I'm absolutely clear on now. On one of my recordings, I was talking about the cat, wasn't I? In England, we had what we understood to be a Siamese, half-part Siamese cat from her behaviour, and we did call her Emma. Whereas in New Zealand, second wife, she had a cat come to us, which we knew was half Siamese, for sure. And she came on a Tuesday. And yes, indeed, we called her Lapsang because we were drinking tea and I was reading a book, Lapsang Renpa. So that's how that came about. So I just wanted to, it's a detail, isn't it? And interestingly, in a sense, it doesn't matter whether I got the history right, does it? What mattered is, what's the effect of the recording on its listener, you or someone else? And that's things far more important, isn't it? I mean, as I see it, and probably you do too, the importance of creatures, non-human life, relationship with such and concern for and love of, and their love for us. What a tragedy that we treat the animal kingdom so badly, so carelessly, so much as if it were just a resource instead of life, just as we are life. Well, so although I got the historical content, the record, muddled up, do you see the essence is still so relevant worthwhile, valuable, despite my incompetence at recall at the time of making the recording. It's so with Scripture too, you see. We're not interested in whether you got the history right or whether it was history. We're interested in the spiritual purpose and achievement of the Scripture. That's what matters. Matters because it affects our eternity, our pathway to it, anyway. So I'm just glad I cleared up a couple of points there. Thank you, Heavenly Dad.